Hello, everybody. We're live with Bullshit Busters, episode 2 of the 2015 edition. This is the Apocalypse show, where our main topic will be dealing with what happened if gaming itself had the heart of it ripped out and then stomped on and run over by a Mack truck. And then that truck stopped and backed up over it and then ran it over again. Yeah. But before we get into that, we'll get to the other bullshit things. But before we do that, let's have everyone introduce themselves, starting with Mario TGP.
Hello, I'm Mario TGP. I'm glad to be participating on this podcast.
Yeah, so I just have a question for you, because we actually have a format. For once, we have a format. So, what you've been playing? What have you been playing, and what are you looking forward to in the next few months or so?
Okay. Currently, I really don't have too much time to play games because I've spent most of the time testing my own game, my own engine. It's not fun, but yeah, the games I'm dedicating time to play are the Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii. I'm liking it so far, and I think I'm going to finish it nearly when Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to be released. And I'm playing Nano Soul for the 3DS. It's a cheap game. You can find it on Amazon. I don't remember. It's really cheap and it's nice. It shows you the power of the Nintendo 3DS. It's a really good game. And I'm playing Half-Life 1 for PC, mostly to get footage for my video series on my Spanish YouTube channel about overrated games. And for the next few months, I'm looking forward to play Majora's Mask 3D for the 3DS and Castle in the Darkness for PC. It's a 8-bit style game, like Zelda 2 and Castlevania. So if you guys don't know about the game, I really recommend you. It's really cheap, and you can buy it for like $3 on Steam.
Okay, all right. Okay, I guess it's Triple M. Introduce yourself, then tell everyone what you've been playing and what you're looking for in the next few months.
Hello, the lone wolf and fondness for games that pops out my artworks. This is Triple M, and well, I haven't been playing anything lately just because of some circumstances. But I want to delve back on the whole favorite character from the last podcast. When originally Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog was my favorite character, but then after recent years of happenings, well, let's say Sonic just bumped down and comes back, and reason why I said Mario and Terry Bogard. And the whole big deal that Mr. Red Fox thought that I was going to say the reason why I didn't say that because I actually cosplay as my favorite characters, so I'm kind of like in my mind like some sort of a dark sense that Mr. Red Fox actually want me to dress cosplay as mine.
No, I don't want you to cosplay as mine, ever. Ever, 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 never, ever, ever, ever. I like but look, I like adult form Midna from Twilight Princess, but I don't want to ever, I wouldn't cosplay as her. I don't have the body for it. I'm also not a woman, so that precludes me from cosplaying as Midna from Twilight Princess. But I digress. I guess it's my turn to introduce myself, and you know me. It's Mr. Red Fox. I don't have a clever intro. I'm working on it, but I'll just tell you what I've been playing. I have been playing a ton of Citizens of Earth, which has a very Earthbound vibe to it. I've been playing a ton of Smash Brothers, a lot of Skyrim, and in the next few months, I'm looking forward to Kirby, Ironfall. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on my new 3DS next week because thanks to GameStop's magnificent mess-ups, they took $50 off of my purchase. So I traded in my old, well, not my old, my Mario and Luigi 3DS Special Edition, and they added $50 to my trade-in value because they messed up my order. So I wound up paying like $50 for a new 3DS. Yeah. And they're going to deliver it to my house. So I'm happy about that. So I won't be getting it the day before Valentine's Day, but to be frank, my girlfriend and I'm not going to have time to be playing with a C stick, with a C nubbin, and I'll leave it at that. So, you know, it actually works out really well for me. And for people who are bitching and complaining about not having an AC adapter for the new 3DS, I've got 2 DSs and now 1 3DS. You know, if you're really that desperate, I can send you one for free. I'll even handle shipping and handling, you cheap bastard. But with that being said, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. So without further ado, it's time to get into the quick topics. The first one is a nice little article written by Emily Rogers because she is just, once again, Emily Rogers is just... Here's the problem with Emily Rogers. She makes a good point, but she only gives you part of the information that she used to arrive to that point. It is true that Nintendo needs to focus more on women, but I mean the fact of the matter is that it's not their games. Nintendo makes games for everyone. Literally everybody. They make games for children, they make games for adults, they make games for old people, they make games for young people, they make games for men, they make games for women, they make games for young boys and young girls. They make games for everyone. That's how they roll. Your thoughts, gentlemen, because I know you guys read the article. Agree, disagree?
I would like to read the part when I stopped reading the article because these three lines of text
We're bullshit.
a lot of buzzwords you hear every day. It says, young men grow older and start their own families. Many of them will have less time for video games, and they may stick to just one video game console, the one with the best third-party support. There's one buzzword, third-party support, again. The problem is that Nintendo has always relied on nostalgia, another buzzword, of people who remember the good old days to buy future hardware. It's the same thing you hear or you read on every Nintendo should do this kind of article.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So.
Well, the thing that gets me is that, like, they're like, well, they're relying on nostalgia. It's not nostalgia. Literally, gaming was better 2 gens ago on the other 2 consoles than it is now. Okay? Like, I recently looked, I went to GameStop this weekend because I had to go take care of something, as I already told you, because they messed up my order. And I was looking at this list of stuff for Evolve, right? And I'm looking at this list of shit that's up for DLC sales, and I'm like, wow, this is shit that 2 generations ago you would have unlocked by playing the fucking game, and now they're locking it behind a paywall. This is the future of gaming, ladies and gentlemen.
Has actually people played the game is someone has actually played it before they start to announce all those DLCs, and it's like they don't care about the actual game anymore. So they are planning to charge you before you buy the goddamn thing first.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what?
Triple M, your thoughts?
You know what I find kind of funny or ironic.
Go ahead.
You would believe Nintendo would be doing this exact same thing a generation ago with the Wii. Like when suddenly I heard so many crowds saying that Nintendo cast aside the like quote unquote hardcore gamers or hardcore gaming um, to go after the casual gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, this article also reminds me of other two things about that. Nintendo was making females YouTube channel that basically targets for girls, and then you know what? I have no freaking problem with that.
Neither do I.
Um, and also uh, that whole commercial about the "I'm not a gamer" thing, which again, another thing that I was not um, uh,
Enthralled with?
the- I was not actually against. I was basically indifferent. It was like capturing different audience, which Nintendo's what Nintendo does. They target everyone. Yeah, even individuals that outside of gaming, and I wouldn't mind that unless those individuals start name callings, but not. But I haven't seen that delve into anything either. Um,
You know, something that I really don't like about this is that they say that they should focus on females. It's like uh, I don't know why people like to draw a line to this game should only be played by girls and this game should only be played by males.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, have you guys tried Tomodachi Life?
Yep. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like gaming is much like reading, right? It's like someone says, "Well, that's a book for girls. That's a book for boys." Look, if a book is good, I don't give a shit who it's geared towards. I'm gonna read
yeah.
it. I don't care.
I think, I think that's the mentality of this article because she repeatedly says that, men grow up and they have to take care of the family because the women stays in the kitchen. Basically, that's what the article says. It's I don't know why it's generalizing. Women can also like those quote unquote hardcore games, that the shooty bang bang games, that those young games. So I don't see what in the hell it's a towards women, gaming for women.
Yep.
Uh, So
Also,
let's
kind of.
see, games like, as I said, Tomodachi Life, that game sold surprisingly well on Germany,
Yep.
uh, and,
France.
and Animal Crossing, and there's a lot of male gamers
Yep.
that play that game. So it's really it's really weird what this person in that article is trying to say.
Well, that's the thing
Yeah,
that
he can
bothers me.
say, yeah, you can't like Tomodachi Life, you can't like Mario Brothers, you can't like Animal Crossing because the men only play sport games, and it's like when men are too they feel uh, I mean, like they feel too insecure for their taste on music, movies, or something like that. When I mean, when people are it's like, I can't play this because this is for girls, and I feel like a too very insecure person for me.
It
Yeah,
kind of
that's
it kind of reminds me of the whole Bear Hugger. Shout outs to him that he actually played
Barbie's
Babe.
Dream House, Barbie's Beach
Yeah.
Club. Like, I mean, like, okay, I'm just gonna say, look, I'm not saying there's certain games I'm not gonna play, like Nintendogs. I don't. I mean, I'd rather have a real puppy. I'm sorry, because a
Yeah,
real puppy can lick you,
Yeah.
than a fake one. But I mean, Nintendo makes games for everyone. I
yeah,
mean, and they don't need to stop doing that. They don't need to stop making games that appeal to everyone and not just a certain demographic. That's one of the problems that really hurts Sony and Microsoft is that they make games that appeal to the dude bro demographic and no one else. And that's not good. But I think we've spent enough time on this topic.
okay.
Time to move on to the next quick topic, which is Marvel news and other news. If you were able to watch that Fantastic Four teaser trailer, it was so fantastic. It was fantastical. I have never been so. My mind was blown. Of course, my mind being blown, it wasn't because it was such an awesome thing in my opinion. It was because like a blood vessel burst in my forehead because I was so mad. What can I say about that trailer except this? You know what, Fox? And this is another quick topic that I'm adding. But I'm going to mention right now because it's pertinent. If you guys mess up this Fantastic Four movie, Marvel will come and just take the rights. They'll take it over. They did it with Spider-Man with Sony. They'll do it with you too. Because at this point, Marvel is printing money with their Marvel films. So at this point, it's not just about money. It's about not hurting their brand. And if you hurt their brand, they will come and take their shit back. So I'm just hoping this movie isn't as shitty as that trailer was. Your thoughts, Triple A?
One problem I have with this. What happened with the word accuracy? I mean, now, just looking at this teaser trailer, I'm kind of much more inclined. One aspect of the two earlier Fantastic Four movies. One aspect that is actually more to me is the aestheticness of it, how the characters look, the costumes. Seriously,
You're speechless, dude. You're
the earlier
speechless. How bad that thing was. You're like, I can't even describe how shitty it was. I can't.
It just looked like a generic
Sci-fi movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing of Fantastic Four, and I understand this is a teaser trailer. We're not gonna get anything, but oh my bloody god!
It's not giving you good feelings. It's not.
I thought at least keep the costumes have that bright blue color. Not even that.
No. What were you gonna say, Mario?
Yeah, I'm just finished watching the trailer, and it looks like
Generic.
every single trailer I watch this Sunday when I went to the movies. It's the same
Dark, gritty.
blockbuster action film.
Yeah.
It's basically the same sounds, the same structure for those trailers. Like it's the scenes get to a loud sound like
Yep.
and it cuts, and the scenes cuts suddenly to black. It's the same trailer.
Yeah,
Like
it's.
that the new Terminator movie. It's the same thing.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
same similar.
Yeah,
I'm
and
tired of the trailers.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Except
Oh,
here's the thing that really bothers me about this trailer is that Fox is not showing. I know it's a teaser trailer. I know there is nothing in this trailer that makes me want to see this movie, and yet I'm gonna have to watch it so that I can complain about it later.
oh, heck no. I
I'm
am
gonna watch
staying
it
away.
just so that I can complain about it.
I
Um,
am staying away from it.
So I can complain how well, here's the thing. Where I live, there's like for $7.50 you get matinee prices. So what I plan on doing is I'm gonna go
Much cheaper
watch
than I
this
get.
when it comes out. I'm gonna go watch it for matinee prices. I'm not gonna buy any popcorn, nothing. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna get progressively more pissed off while I'm watching it, and then when I leave, I'm gonna do a video talking about how shitty it was and warn everyone not to go watch it unless you want your head to explode.
Yeah, this is the one I wanted to
Bad.
say.
It could be good, but let me shake my magic 8-ball. Chances are unlikely. So
This is what I wanted to say.
about how many superhero movies are going to be released in the next 3 years?
yeah. What were you gonna say, Triple M?
This is what for as bad for as bad or the hiccups of the two earlier films that features these characters. At least there was something fantastical about that was oozing out of those. Well, actually, the first one, the second one, not so much. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
messed up Galactus. No.
Uh,
oh,
I think, and now every single, I don't know, yeah, it could be a superhero movie, it could be an action movie, but
They're
all of
getting
them
very
is
formulaic.
the same. It's the same. Oh, let's make something, an old IP, let's make it dark and gritty and
Yeah.
epic. I'm just tired of that.
Well, I mean, it started with with Nolan's Batman films, and I will forever look at Nolan's Batman films as being the bellwether for when comic book movies started to get too fucking dark.
I agree. I
In my
agree.
opinion, they're too. And here's the thing, okay? Like, I know what some people are gonna say. Oh, you like the 1970s Superman films. I do, but you have to remember something. The superhero films I saw after those films was Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns. Those are dark as shit.
Oh,
But while they are dark, they still retain the essence of those characters.
Yeah.
and
Um,
they didn't f up the continuity.
No, and they still contain the essence. And here's the thing: the only thing that didn't make me mad about this new Fantastic Four film is that Johnny's now black. I don't even care. I don't care.
You
Yeah,
know, I
that one.
think instead of these movies being actually dark, I think they are trying to be dark.
Yeah, they are. They're trying very hard to
Which
be dark.
For me,
it's
the
just
real dark is when you don't expect it. You know what I mean? Like Majora's Mask. The game has never tried to explicitly be this gritty and dark.
No, but it's very dark. Same thing with Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess, in my opinion, is the Legend of Zelda. Is what they wanted Ocarina of Time to be, but technology at the time didn't let them make Ocarina of Time be like that. But if you play it, it has very dark themes. I mean, it's got death, destruction, murder, regicide. I mean,
Do you guys play the Tingle game for the DS?
I
couldn't
have
have played
heard
it.
of it. I've heard of it.
I watched the streamer Bansos. He played the full game, and there's a part where a girl that died at the age of 8, um, he
Wow.
was trying to kill the wife of one of the NPCs.
Damn.
So
No
when
wonder that game never came here to America.
yeah,
That could be just that one thing that said,
it's
Captain
that
America,
thing
let's scrap it.
dark. That's too dark for a freaking Kindle game.
Yeah,
That's the kind of dark that I like. Something I don't
you don't
expect.
expect it. Yeah,
Don't
Yeah,
expect that. No, it's something that it shouldn't be pushed in your freaking face every dang time.
yeah, yeah. What now to take the funk of that horrific trailer, Fantastic Four teaser trailer, out of our mouth? Let's talk about something good. The Daredevil trailer for Netflix's new TV show. I'm not going to show it or showcase it or anything. All I'm going to say is this: if you guys have a chance, go watch it. Um, the viewers who are watching it, because it's friggin' awesome. It's
I,
got the Daredevil. It's got the Kingpin. It's got the Daredevil getting thrown out of a window by the Kingpin. It's implied. Um, it's going to be awesome.
I will say something. I will say something. A bit of a detriment here, and um, the sentiment flows the same way as uh oh crap
Fantastic Four. It's too
no
dark.
I just saw a podcast earlier of Tony Rendays and crap, I just forgot who his cast was. I can't believe I forgot him. But shout outs to Tony Renda and that guest. Um,
Joe Decidion.
thank you. You're such a lifesaver. Yeah, he said something that I was thinking about myself when I saw the trailer and specifically with Mr. Kingpin.
Yeah.
He doesn't look that fat.
Yeah, but it's Vincent D'Onofrio. I mean, okay, Vincent D'Onofrio is kind of fat nowadays, okay? Is he fat enough to play Wilson Fisk? They might need
Probably
to get a
not.
fat suit. They might need to get a fat suit. But here's the thing about the Kingpin. Shout outs. I know Michael Clark Duncan died, but Michael Clark Duncan was not the Kingpin we needed. And it's not because Michael Clark Duncan didn't look imposing. The thing about the Kingpin is that he's not supposed to look imposing until you see him in action. Because you have to realize something. The Kingpin has gone up against three of Marvel's most badass characters and beaten the shit out of all three of them. By himself. No weapons. One-on-one.
Just fisticuffs.
Just fisticuffs. That's right.
I get that, but I've, I'm not sure. But I thought I've seen some screenshots of comics featuring Kingpin. I'm sorry, but he does look like he's like
He's huge.
twice,
He's huge. Yeah,
twice
he's
as large.
huge.
Yeah,
His nickname in the Marvel universe is the Fat Man because he's
yeah.
huge. But here's the thing: the Kingpin, like, this is the same mistake that the Punisher, Daredevil, Spider-Man made. Just because he looks like he's huge,
Fat blob, slow, can't do
80%
anything.
of that
That
is
was a huge
muscle.
mistake.
So if the Kingpin is, I mean, he's that big, but 80% of that weight is muscle. When a dude is that big and 80% of it is muscle, he's not a dude you want to fuck with. And that's the cool thing about the Kingpin. I've seen the, I mean, because I'm one of those people that got the Kingpin comic books. Like, the Kingpin, I've seen him crush dudes' skulls with his bare hand. Not hands.
That part.
Hand. Just one hand, he crushed a dude's skull with his hand. The Kingpin is not a dude to be fucked with. People need, as soon as you recognize that, and the fact that they have a bald-headed Kingpin who's just totally just gonna fuck up Daredevil, because I mean that's what the Kingpin does. He messes up people. I'm gonna love it. This is the only reason I'm renewing my Netflix subscription. It's because of this.
I thought it was the other news, but go on.
No. The other news, well, we already talked. Well, I already mentioned it in passing. Marvel and Sony have worked out a deal. Probably Marvel's given Sony like $500 million or something like that.
Sure. Before you go any further with that, the greater aspects I loved in oh crap, I'm Daredevil. Yeah, the Daredevil trailer is the costume. It's not the original iconic red suit, and I kind of love that. It kind of shows like he's going into like phases. Suit one is like um a concept that
Well, that's
maybe
his original suit. See, this is an origin story. They're going with his original suit because he worked
and
up
I,
to the red. He worked up to the red suit. Like
and I love
initially, he
that.
just had like a cowl and like leather shit on.
And that's the part I love.
Yeah,
The
yeah, that's
evolution of
cool.
the suit.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Um, so now that we've gotten that out the way, it's time to talk about our next topic, which I inserted this because this just happened. I just found out about it today. Marvel has taken over the right to helm the Spider-Man franchise away from Sony. Thank God.
Oh!
Because God knows if I had to sit through another Amazing Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, I was going to, like, bash my head into a brick wall. Okay, now I wasn't going to do that, but I'm being facetious. But
To be honest, I finally watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on cable, and
sucked, didn't it?
I was not very excited what I was seeing. The only redeeming part that I saw was the death of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, and even
But
that was like, nah. Because here's the thing, Spider-Man is a iconic American superhero. He's not as iconic as Superman or Batman, but or even Captain America. Because I mean, you know, people still know. But if you ask even most like casual Spider-Man fans, who's Gwen Stacy, they don't know. They know Mary Jane. They know Mary Jane Watson. And later Mary Jane Parker, but they don't know Gwen Stacy. So I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you're saying that none of the Americans even knew about Gwen Stacy, which
They're like, who the
that's
hell?
a surprise to me.
Like, okay, I went and took 3 casual friends of Spider-Man to go see the first Amazing Spider-Man, Mark Webb's first film. They thought his girlfriend was going to be Mary Jane. It was Gwen Stacy, and they were pissed. They were like, who the hell is Gwen Stacy? And that's when I knew that Mark Webb had made a terrible mistake. But I didn't say anything at the time. And I know what some people are going to say. Well, Andrew Garfield is a great Spider-Man. He's a pretty good Spider-Man. But here's the thing, okay? When you do a superhero film, you have to start with their alter ego. Like, you can't have a really good Superman if you don't have someone who plays a really good Clark Kent. You can't have a good Batman if you don't have someone who plays a really believable Bruce Wayne. You can't have a good Spider-Man if you don't have a believably nerdy Peter Parker. And the thing is that Andrew Garfield, look, I'm sure he's a nice person. He's a shitty Peter Parker. His Peter Parker, like, he's trying way too hard to be nerdy, but he's actually, like, hipster cool. It's like, dude, you're not Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like Peter Parker is supposed to be a nerdy little, like he's supposed to be like a dude that, like, you know, if you were a bully in high school, you want to punch him in the face. Like, that's what he's, like, you can say whatever you want to about Tobey Maguire, but in the first Spider-Man film, you just want to punch him in the face. Like, when he's Peter Parker, it's like, I want to kick his ass myself. And he's the main character. He's the hero of this story. But I want to punch him in the face because he's a total nerd.
To be honest, I'm much more sympathetic to a nerdy character, but the way this modern-day Peter Parker is doing it, I couldn't click with the character.
Because he was already cool. I mean, it's like, here's the thing. You have to see the transformation from nerd to having spider powers and being an asshole, and then his Uncle Ben dying, and it turns him back around into with great power comes great responsibility, Spider-Man. You have to see that character growth. You have to see that change. But he's already kind of cool any damn way, so it's like...
That's the honest trailer that said, "Meet Peter Parker, your charismatic, athletic, well-looking loser."
Yeah,
It's,
like he was already really cool. I mean, he didn't look like a nerd to me. Not to mention that the girl who played Gwen Stacy was like she's in her 30s right now. It's hilarious to see people in their 30s play high schoolers. That's like me shaving off my beard and my mustache and pretending like I'm a high schooler. I
I'm
couldn't do
sorry.
that shit.
I'm sorry. In my eyes, it could actually work. And with Gwen Stacy, I didn't even know the lady was in her 30s.
Yeah, she's in her 30s and she looks like she's in her 30s. Like, just putting someone in high school in what they think high schoolers wear and putting them in a high school and like she's 30 something years. Andrew Garfield's in his 30s too.
about what you were saying about using 30-year-olds to be high schoolers, that's what they did on the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and it looked ridiculous back then too.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take that back. They did it in the 90s. In the 80s, we got kids stars. You watch 90210, a lot of those people were in their 20s. You watch Saved by the Bell, those people were kids.
Yeah,
They were all kids.
Yeah.
You saw them literally grow up. The Cosby Show, they were kids. You saw them grow up.
What was the reason to use older actors to portray?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like why it's kind of hard to. It's kind of like why Arrested Development had some issues. It's because Michael Cera grew up, and it's like it's really hard to keep that show going when they had those years off and they canceled it and then they tried to bring it back because Michael Cera is like a fucking adult now. So it's like, like is he still gonna be with his dad and living in the development and all that? I mean, just even though I love Arrested Development, it's one of the best shows ever. It's one of the best shows canceled before their time ever made. Like Soap. If you've never seen Soap, it's a TV show that parodies soap operas from the 70s, and it's really fucking good. But I digress. Now on to the third quick topic, because we're going to get through this because I want to get to the main topic because it really needs to be talked about. Tom Hardy, a.k.a. the world's most generic action hero, dropped out of the Suicide Squad movie.
Generic action hero?
He's very generic. Like Tom Hardy, every generation from the 80s onward had these generic dudes who could play action stars, but they weren't the main listers. They were very generic. So like the 80s had Michael Dudikoff. The 90s had like who was the generic action hero of the 90s that like no one, it's like they were in it but no one, like it's like you're an action hero kinda sorta. I want to say Dolph Lundgren, but Dolph Lundgren used to be like a B-list action star. A wrestler, like in the 90s a lot of wrestlers were in action movies and like no one cared except for The Rock. Like no one else cared about
Okay, I guess specifically with Tom Hardy, with me, I guess it doesn't seem to me like that to me, because I barely even knew this man.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He's actually a British actor.
He's the most generic action star ever. I mean, he was in Clash of the Titans, and then he was in the sequel. Both of those were really generic action films. And then he played the Terminator in the Terminator movie with Christian Bale. And, I mean, those are not very... Like, he was in other shit, too, but that's what I remember him in. And the only reason I remember him in Clash of the Titans because I was mad that they made a remake. And the only reason I remember him from the Terminator movie because it had Christian Bale in it. Like, Tom Hardy is the world's most generic action hero. It's like that should be his pitch from his agent. When you need a generic action hero, Tom Hardy answers the call.
This is not the same person from the Terminator Salvation. I can tell you that.
That's not Tom Hardy?
No, it's someone that looked like him, but it's not him. And speaking of that, I'm actually looking on his list, and the first time he ever appeared on cinema was on Black Hawk Down, which that was one that I did not see yet.
He's still very generic. I'm sorry.
Oh my
The
God!
man.
He played as Bane for Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, then that's even worse.
Son of a.
Oh God, you mean the fat Bane who looked like he just needed to eat some more cheeseburgers before he killed anybody? Never
That's him.
mind. That's Tom Hardy.
God.
Oh God, that's even worse. Never mind. I'm glad he left. Bye, Tom Hardy. I'll be right with you, Batman, but first, I must eat these plate of cheeseburgers. But
I guess that's the reason why you thought of him with Kristen Bale, because of Batman, not
he's
Salvation.
so boring. He's so boring. He's like the world's worst. Oh God, Tom Hardy, go away. I'm glad he left. What indie devs want from? Okay, the next quick topic is what indie devs want from Nintendo's next handheld. I hope you guys read the article because I'm not going to recap. Basically, it was just various people talking about how they feel about they should unify their console and handheld platforms next gen. And I let you guys give your point of view before I give my 2 cents. Who wants to go first?
Let me.
Okay.
There's some good points. There's some points that I'm kind of indifferent with. Give or take doesn't really matter. And there was some I can't say bad or almost questionable. It's just that, and I wanted to save this for a podcast that I'm gonna with Micah. If you ever do that technology discussion thing, if I ever be a part of it, but it's kind of like this. You might you might get you might get something what you wish for from Nintendo, but it's not always going to be 100%. It's more of a 50-50 give and take.
Fair.
TGP?
What? About the article of Shinen and other developers agree Nintendo should unify their console and handheld platforms next year?
Yeah, just
Yes.
your idea about the article.
Uh, just some companies again that Nintendo should do this, Nintendo should do that. Who cares? You never know what they're going to do next.
Now this.
I still the only thing it's hard for me to imagine this console that is the supposed Project Fusion. I don't remember what it was, but the idea is that it's a portable gaming device merged with a home console. But well, what will be uh, the only thing that could be is that the portable system is a little bit more weaker than the console because it couldn't today. I don't think on the next 10 years it will be possible to get the same quality of streaming like we got with the Wii U. Because if you got like more than 3 meters away from the console, the signal you lost the signal between the gamepad and the Wii U, and and you can use the streaming for let's say a portable console.
Right.
Streaming is out of the question. So the only thing they could merge console and portable will be that they have a similar architecture and one is weaker than the other. But
Yeah.
I don't see the point. I could be wrong, but it's again, this is just a bunch of speculation.
Exactly.
I also
Back in the day, people kept saying Nintendo is doomed because the GameCube isn't selling well and the DS is doomed. It is doomed to fail. So
The
I'm
3DS is
predicting,
doomed.
yeah, I'm
The Wii
predicting
U is doomed. Actually,
those
I also want
when they first
portable
came out with the NES, they were doomed.
yeah.
those guys, but this mainstream media sites start spreading this rumor about the GameCube portable. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like 10 years ago, and this is starting
Well,
to happen like 10
no,
years
yeah.
later with
But wait a
a
yeah, we finally got that GameCube portable though, didn't we?
the
The
new
3DS is
3DS.
basically a GameCube.
But it's like a above the GameCube, below the Wii, but it's like 10 years after those rumors.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
Oh,
mean, look,
I
Nintendo
also
will do it. It just takes some time.
I also want to point out that okay, we've seen developers asking for this and that, and look, we got the PS4 and Xbox One, and guess what they're saying right now?
They don't have enough power to do what they need to do. And that's why I don't trust what developers say when it comes to we need more power. It's like, no, I'll lay down my arguments because we've heard what you guys thought about the article. I'll give my 2 cents. Two things. First of all, Nintendo has been working with this hardware for years. Okay, first party developers, their games always are fucking awesome. So if they are working with these quote unquote constraints and they can still make wonderful games, what's your fucking excuse? Oh, you're a shitty developer.
Oh
yeah,
no, their excuse is, hey, you didn't give us time to prep with your hardware that we're not having enough time to learn from the components that you build.
No, no, no. Across all platforms, the excuse from third-party developers ranges from it's never not enough time. It's we didn't have the hardware is too weak. It's so different from what we're used to. It takes more time. They finally have consoles that are all three consoles: the Wii U, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One. All of these are relatively powerful consoles. If you cannot, if the first party developers can make relatively good games on these consoles,
Why can't you?
you have no excuse. And
It's,
don't say it's because they're first party developers. Because here's the thing. Those people, they're having to go through the same things. Nintendo had to go through the same things Microsoft and Sony did last gen with first party games. And I guarantee you, their first truly HD games look a hell of a lot better than that shit that was on the PS3 and Xbox 360. I'm sorry. Okay?
they
So
were
they're
I,
not.
already
I have to.
used to Nintendo's hardware. Actually, I've started a debate on my Facebook page where I said that every single person that actually believes that Final Fantasy VII wasn't possible on the Nintendo 64, it's it's
They're
dumb.
insane. Exactly. They're stupid.
You
I would
see,
also like to.
starting to defend him, but they said that they will need like 1,000 cartridges to fit Final
That's
Fantasy.
bullshit. That's
Uh,
bullshit.
like, well, you have Resident Evil 2, and that game had the content of a game that was on 2 discs on
Yep.
the PlayStation, including the FMV sequences.
Yep.
And, but they say no, it's they occupy like all the 700 megabytes of the CD. I don't know if that's true, but I can tell you that most of that space was used on those damn FMVs
Yep.
that they look really dated. No one needs them. They could easily recreate those scenes with the engine.
Yep.
We're lazy. There's other keyword optimization.
Yep.
they can optimize the resources to make the game smaller. I uploaded my game to Google Games. They have a requirement to like I remember like 20 megabytes, and the desktop version is like 40. So I had to do magic to cram the game to 20 megabytes. So if a one single developer could do that, don't tell me a AAA company couldn't do that kind of stuff to put Final Fantasy 7 on the Nintendo 64.
It's bullshit. Because I mean, the thing is that first of all, Final Fantasy VII began life as an N64 game. So when I hear people say that, I'm like, you're either ignorant or you don't understand your history. And second of all, look, we all know what the truth is. Third-party developers will come up with any damn excuse to not put a game on the Nintendo console. And I mean, that's just the way it is.
Speaking about that, Shadow Fox did say that the foundation of the Wii U is basically the same circuitry, well, kind of like the GameCube. So whatever third party actually did coding on the GameCube, they could sure bloody do well on the Wii U.
Yeah.
They could, but they're not going to.
Granted, never believe that it's a different architecture and it's too hard. Because if some developer says that, they suck at their job.
Let me put it this way. We have third-party developers, and this is the last time I'm going to talk about it because we got to get into the main topic.
Okay.
We have third-party developers who are putting games on mobile platforms. Okay, and when I say mobile platforms, I don't mean just tablets. I mean damn smartphones. If you can put a game on a smartphone, there is nothing preventing you from putting a game on anything else. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now it's time to get into the main topic, the pièce de résistance, the topic that we need to discuss, because this is some bullshit that needs to be busted right now. And I was silent on it. I didn't just aside from a few comments here and there. We've heard in this community from a few people who say that Nintendo should leave the big three and stop making consoles and put their games on other people's consoles, because it's not about the consoles, it's about the ideas behind their games. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. And I'll give you 3 examples of 3 companies that were at one point first-party console manufacturers and then went third-party, and where they fared, how they ended up. Anyone here remember the TurboGrafx 16?
Yes.
Oh, I do.
It's from
Yeah.
Hudson, isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Well, the TurboGrafx 16 was one of the first 16-bit consoles. It was released in Japan in 1987. It beat the Genesis to the market. So it's like the first true 16-bit console. And it was the TurboGrafx was heavily influenced against heavily created to go up initially against the NES. However, by the time it came out, it just couldn't really get a hold, and it wound up going against the SNES, the Mega Drive, Sega Genesis, and even the Neo Geo. Now, why am I talking about the TurboGrafx? Why is this important? The TurboGrafx was made in a dual type of situation between Hudson Soft, that's right, Hudson Soft, the Bomberman, Adventure Island, and Bonk people, and NEC, which is a tech company in Japan. Um, yeah, Hudson Soft is doing so well now. They had a console. They didn't have that console was not heavily supported when it came out any damn way, but it lasted like 12 years. The last game released for the TurboGrafx was in '98, so I mean, '87 to '98. That's a pretty good run for one console.
Yes, surprisingly, yeah.
But they used to be a first-party developer. You want to know what happened to Hudson now?
It's dead.
Oh, yes, it's very dead. Hudson is very, very dead. Not only is Hudson dead, but TurboGrafx and its games are now owned by Konami through their absorption of Hudson Soft in 2012. However, all the people who made the games that we know and love from Hudson Soft, Adventure Island, Bomberman, Bonk, guess where they work now?
Konami don't have any interest in developing any.
No, guess where the developers who made those games work now?
Is this a trick question?
It should look. I'm just asking. Where do you think they work? Who do you think hired them?
Like the guys who work at Square.
Nope, Nintendo.
Well, that's what I mean.
Okay, that.
Monolith Soft.
No, period. They now work. All the Hudson Soft dudes now work at Nintendo. But you know, Hudson Soft went third party. Well, originally they were third party, and then they went first party, and then they went third party again. But by that time, the magic was gone, and well, we haven't had a good Bomberman game in many, 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 many years now.
I would not expect that the Hudson Soft developer team actually went to Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo bought them. But let's talk about another first party studio that went to shit. And then went, you know.
Before we move on to the next company, I would like to say that most of the Hudson Soft games for the NES have really awesome music. They had a very talented composer.
Oh yeah.
For the games.
Hudson Soft was one of the great developers of the 8, 16, 32, and even up to 64-bit age. They kind of went to shit after the 64-bit age, but, you know, what are you going to do? But now, to talk about the second company that, this is a company that we all should be familiar with. They have brand recognition out the ass. Anyone familiar with Atari?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Atari.
The whole Atari debacle.
Atari is just, oh god. We all know Atari went to shit before they went third party, but they went to further shit after they went third party. As we all know.
I think to this day they're only making games. Well, they're very old arcade games with licensing on top of it. I'm like,
yep.
Yeah.
Actually, Atari now is making, if you want to play some of their great games, and that's loosely because, I mean, Atari didn't have a lot of great games. Most of their great games were third-party titles, believe it or not. And quite a few were from Activision. This was back when Activision wasn't the shit that they are now. They had good games back in the day. But I digress. They made a deal with Denny's to make little versions of their own licensed games that are branded for Denny's. So, you know, if you want to play a good Atari game nowadays, you can play Hashtaroids on your mobile phone. And that's in no way devaluing their IPs, you know, putting Hashtaroids on your iPhone. Because when I think of Atari, I think of shitty games on my mobile phone.
Oh.
Yeah. That's right. Then Atari just failed miserably. They failed miserably. Right now, Atari is just it's sad. It's sad. Atari right now has a staff of 10 people.
What?
Yeah, 10 people.
Holy crap!
Yeah. But, Atari is totally, they're third party. Everyone can enjoy their games across all consoles.
But
And they're doing really well right now.
for the little company they are, yeah, yes, they are doing well.
No, they aren't doing well. No. Atari Atari has gone bankrupt so many times it's not even funny. Now I'm going to talk about the king of if only you would go third party. If only you would go through. Everyone could enjoy your game. I don't have to buy your console in order to play your games. This is a title. This is a company that you must all be familiar with. Anyone remember Sega?
Seriously, the people who's saying that, and even in back in the Sega days when they were practically going under, I never even had that freaking mentality of having them go under so I can play their games on the GameCube. I'm what?
Oh no! I'm gonna get into it. So, Sega in 1999. We all know that Sega was going downhill with constantly releasing new fucking titles like every other week. I mean, not new titles. Constantly releasing new consoles. And I know what people are going to say. It's an add-on. No, let me tell you something. The amount of money that goes into making an add-on, it's like you made a new fucking console. Okay? If you're a console developer. So really, when you release an add-on for an existing console, you basically spent like billions of dollars in R&D to make a new console to attach to your old console. Maybe not as much as if you made a new console from the ground up, but it's still really expensive. And Sega did, like, it seemed like every 2 years they had a new fucking add-on to the Genesis. First it was CD, then it was a 32X, then it was, then they finally got smart and said, okay, we're going with the Saturn, and then they were like, oh shit, the Saturn's not doing what we needed to do. So then they did, okay, Dreamcast. Dreamcast was the first really good console they had made in years. Unfortunately, by that point, they had been stabbed in the stomach multiple times and bled out. So it was over by that point.
And that's being stabbed in the back behind closed doors.
But I digress. Basically, Sega is now going downhill, okay? They're going downhill. You can buy their games across all consoles, or almost all consoles, and almost all their games are really shitty nowadays. You can play some games that are total garbage, and, but, I mean, you don't have to buy a Sega console to play their games. I mean, you don't have to, buy their specific hardware to play their software, and their games have been shit ever since. I mean, when was the last good Sonic game anyone played? Exactly.
Actually, I haven't played this game myself, but I heard Sonic Generations was still good.
Sonic Generations is okay. It's good.
The thing is, what I am most surprised is that I keep hearing that the Wii version, yes, the Wii version is a tad better than the HD Twins, which I was quite surprised.
Yeah, it is. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Sega has done their best work when they focus on a single console. Okay?
Can't argue with that.
Even back in the day when Sega was making their own, like the last good Sonic the Hedgehog I played was Sonic 2. That was on the Genesis. And I know what some people are going to say. Oh, what about Sonic Adventure?
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure is an okay game, but if you compare Sonic Adventure as Sonic's 3D game compared to Super Mario 64 as Mario's 3D game, 64 curb stomps Sonic Adventure. Enough said. And I know Sonic fanboys are going to be like, but Sonic it curb stomps it. Super Mario 64 is still one of the best 3D games ever made. Period. No doubt about it. Sonic Adventure, go and try and play that shit now.
Heck,
Try it.
heck, the Sonic Adventure DX for the GameCube. Even I thought they dropped the ball on that one.
It's not a very good game.
Wow.
Not a very good game, but I digress. When Sega focuses on one console, they actually do pretty well. Except when they totally screw the pooch, like with Sonic Boom. But I digress.
Hold on, did
Look
someone
at
say
Sega.
Sonic? Did someone say Sonic Boom Boom Boom? Sonic Boom Boom Boom.
But I digress. Sonic, Sega, you can get their games across all consoles now. You can even get their games on mobile and PC.
Interesting note about the mobile Sonic games.
They're pretty shitty.
Yeah,
I
games are just infinite runners, like
They are pretty shitty.
on the iPhone.
Yeah, their games on mobile are just shitty.
I will say this. I heard a discussion on Game Explain where they featured Sonic fans, and from what I am taking a gander on this, for a mobile game, or for a mobile based game of Sonic, it's actually well made when it's specifically for a mobile game.
Oh yeah, good for them.
Yeah, and I've also seen one. I haven't played it, but to be honest, it's kind of like the difference between you have a card that's in standard, and you have the other one that's in automatic. Basically, the mobile version of Sonic game is the card that runs on automatic, which I'm an old fart. I'd like to go with the standard, drive with a stick.
I think when IP gets a infinite runner game, it's
You've hit rock bottom.
It's
Yeah, you've hit rock bottom.
Mega Man for the South Korean market.
Yeah.
Little Big Planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also,
it's funny to believe that I read a comment of one person who said that he's genuinely excited of an idea of a infinite runner Zelda.
Yeah. I mean, here's all I'm gonna say. Sega should be the perfect example for why you should never want Nintendo to go third party or put their games on other people's platforms. Because Nintendo, first of all, I truly do believe this in my heart of hearts. If Nintendo ever went under, if they were like, we can't do anything, I think they would literally take their IPs and bury them so deep that no one could ever get them. And they just go away. And I'll be frank with you.
Nintendo specifically said that.
They specifically said that. And I'll be frank with you. I wouldn't have it any other way, because let's be honest, I wouldn't trust anyone with Nintendo's IPs. I wouldn't. I mean, would you trust Microsoft with Nintendo's IPs? I mean,
like crazy. They will use that IP until no one care about it in less than 5 years.
No.
They do like annual sequels, mobile games.
Oh yeah.
That kind of stuff.
They would run their franchises into the damn ground. If Nintendo sold their IPs, and these are the scenarios that I have. The first one I already covered, Nintendo pulling a Sega. It's not going to happen. If it did, gaming would. Look, you thought it was bad when Sega left the hardware market. If Nintendo left the hardware market, we're fucked. As gamers, we're fucked, because if we have a universe where Microsoft and Sony can get away with the bullshit they're trying to get away with, and there's no alternative, as gamers, we're fucked. Okay, we're screwed. We're totally screwed.
I will.
Possibly a PC game. If that
But I mean, let's just say, and we already
I will
covered.
say that. Yeah, I will say this. To the Game Explain's credit, they analyzed it, and I'm using air quotations right here. They analyzed that if Sega is keep doing is keep going the good path when they're making a good mobile game, they can still pull through as a company.
Yeah, but the thing is that at this point, like, I like these companies because I like the games they make. I really I like the IPs. I don't give a fuck about a Sonic mobile game. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to play a Sonic Endless Runner. What I want is a decent Sonic console title. What I want is a Skies of Arcadia. What I want is a Golden Axe, a good Golden Axe. What I want is a Streets of Rage. What I want is, a fairly decent Puyo Puyo Pop. Well, I don't think they own the rights to that, but stuff like that. What we're getting is a whole bunch of, well, this will make us money, but it's shit. I mean, like, Nintendo comes out with shit that makes them money, but it's also good. Sega's like, we're gonna come out with something. It's a piece of shit, but it makes money. I don't, whatever. But Nintendo, we covered if Nintendo leaves the hardware market altogether with their IPs. That'll be fun. I personally speaking, if that happens, I'm done. I'm done with gaming. Console, especially console gaming, because I'm not buying a Microsoft or Sony console. I'm not buying a Microsoft because I don't like what they have on those consoles. Like, third-party games are mostly shit nowadays, and indies are great, but those are on PC. Yeah. And I personally don't like I mean, I don't like Sony or Microsoft's consoles right now. I've never liked Microsoft's consoles, but I damn sure don't like Sony's consoles now. So I don't see myself, if Nintendo left the hardware market, going, well, I got a game on something. I'm just like, well, I'm not going to be gaming. Fuck it.
Speaking on Zen Gamer's discussion about this whole scenario here, when he pointed out that we as gamers would feel very, very hurt, or let's just say very pissed, if Nintendo is basically leaving the whole market and taking away their IPs. It's more like Nintendo giving us the finger as gamers. But you know what? I might be disappointed at first, but at the end, I would play it out the same way. I said, if I make something and you guys do not like it at all of anything that I make,
then I'm not going to make it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I would also,
and no one's going to get it.
Pull the finger on you guys and go away and take away everything.
I take it a step further. Like, here's the thing, okay? Nintendo leaves the hardware market. They take their IPs with them. Some people say, well, how dare they do that? Look, listen, okay? We've seen what Microsoft would do if they had Nintendo-like properties. They got Rare. Rare had Nintendo-like properties. Has Microsoft done shit with them that gives you confidence in their ability to handle Nintendo-like properties?
Nope. But
no. No. I mean, let me put it this way, okay? EA, Activision, Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft. There isn't a company in existence right now that I would trust with a Nintendo IP. So really, the best thing that could happen if they left the hardware market is to take their shit with them. because I would not trust a Mario game made by Microsoft. I would not trust a Mario game made by Sony. I would not trust a Mario game made by I would not trust a Legend of Zelda made by EA or Activision or Ubisoft. I don't trust. It's an issue. It's kind of like this, okay? Making a video game is like cooking. It's like going to your favorite restaurant. It's not just the ingredients that are used in the recipe. It's who's cooking it. It's the chef. And if you don't have the chef who made the dish, who has the inspiration who made it, you can tell this recipe is off. May use the same ingredients. They may have followed the instructions to the T, but there's just a certain flair about how that thing is made when it's made by the people who make it.
Not even a certain flair, a certain magic.
Yeah, well, I mean, flair, magic, you can use whatever word you want to use for it, but personally speaking, if Nintendo goes down, I hope they take their shit with them because, frankly speaking, there isn't another company that could handle it. There's no one else. I mean, what, Sony?
Sony
can't even control their own. Sony can't even, look, one of their premier, and I use premier loosely, I'm using air quotes with premier, one of their premier first-party studios, Naughty Dog, said, oh, well, we're not going to make kiddie games anymore because it's not, we want to make mature games.
You just took that right out of my mouth.
Oh, really? Because you know what, Sony? If you guys made a Jak and Daxter, if Naughty Dog made a Jak and Daxter open world exploration, like you get money, you can buy shit, I would buy a PS4 tonight. I would go to Best Buy or Walmart or Target or wherever and buy a PS4. Say, I'm going to get that game when it comes out. But you're not. You're making more garbage like Last of Us. So fuck you. I'm not going to buy your console.
I'm going to state this to specifically Nintendo when he said that if either a miraculous possibility that Nintendo's leaving the market and sell off their IPs, that he'll still get a chance to play those games. I say this to Nintendo: after what we've experienced with all of these other companies, that doesn't make games that what made them the yesteryear, and when the decades slowly go by, those games get much worse in quality. To that, I'm sorry, Zen Gamer. I really do think, do granted that you are the most logical person on YouTube, and I do mean that as a fact. But that one thing that you said, that Nintendo leaves the market and sell their IPs, that one, I do not want to see the same road that Sega has been taking. Heck, even Naughty Dog has been taken. Heck, even Rare has been taken. And these are from two different console manufacturers, which two out of three. You know what? I'll take the one.
I'm just saying, I mean, I don't trust anyone with Nintendo's IPs, and if they go down, I'd rather Nintendo go down with a fuck you to all the haters, you know, because that's gangster. And in my mind, like, you know, I'm just gonna lay it out there because I need people to understand this, okay? Of all of the big three, and even the big four, Nintendo is the only one that has the balls to say fuck you when it needs to be said. You know, Sony and Microsoft have done everything they could to placate these fucking third parties and these non-gamers and going after people who don't really give a shit about gaming as an art. And Nintendo said, you know what? To hell with that. We're going to make money on our terms, and if you don't like it, fuck you. Nintendo is like at the end of T2 where the Terminator goes into the smelter and he gives the thumb up, except Nintendo would be giving the finger. He would be giving the finger as he goes down. It's like, if I'm going down, I'm going down obstinate and just like just completely unbowed and unbeaten. That's how Nintendo, if they're going down, they're like, you know what, fuck all y'all. Ain't nobody getting our shit. You know? I love that.
We've worked too hard to get this.
That's gangster. That's gangster. I'm sorry. That is totally gangster. That's like the spirit of Yamauchi coming out on that shit.
Oh,
Although,
yeah,
considering the amount of money Nintendo has squirreled away, I don't see that shit happening anytime soon. But whatever. Which leads to our next thing, which is, what if, well, we already kind of covered it a little bit. What if Nintendo left the market, but their IPs were left? I mean, me personally, I don't think there's any, in my opinion, there's no one who could really do well with their IPs.
Yeah, I forgot to say this. If Nintendo was put in that position, they might last maybe a little bit or a little more longer than how Sega's been doing.
Well, they have better IPs than Sega, so I mean that's kind of
of course, but the end conclusion will be the same.
It'll be the same thing, because once you start, and people keep on talking shit about Iwata, but the man knows what he's talking about. Once you start putting your games on mobile once you stop having control over your medium, whatever your medium is, like once you stop having control over your environment and someone else has control over it, i.e. you start putting your games on other people's platforms and you're a first-party developer, that's when shit starts going bad for you. Okay? And every time we've seen that company did not do well. Atari, Sega.
Should we put Ubisoft in this mix as well? Because
they never had Ubisoft never had a console, so.
But they were great in the beginning, and look at they are now.
Ubisoft was okay in the beginning. They got kind of good in the 5th and 6th generation, and the 7th gen has been shit. So.
Save for Far Cry, one game.
I mean, Ubisoft is like a bell curve. They started out kind of shitty, they got pretty good in the middle, and now they're going back down. So, but they're a family business. Ubisoft is a family business. Market. Ubisoft is a family business. It's owned by the Guillemots, but it's still shit though. So anyone have any alternate scenarios with Nintendo leaving? Like the apocalypse scenario of Nintendo just saying, you know what, fuck it, we're not going to make consoles anymore.
I would like to imagine a scenario where those things people say actually happens, that those three things, that Nintendo, one, they should stop doing gimmicks. Okay, let's drop the gamepad, motion control, the dual screens, and well, let's release our portable games on mobile and make a console with a standard controller. Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's make a console as powerful or more powerful than the PS4. Okay, let's do that. Let's add those subscription and that kind of stuff online. The PS4 and Xbox One have the achievements, you can yell in Call of Duty and that kind of stuff. Okay, Nintendo does all that stuff. So basically, what we have is basically the same console with from three different companies with three different names. So it feel like gaming is dead. Like it's prefabricated and you can't think outside of the box, because if you try to do add anything that's not a standard controller, it's a gimmick.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And here's the funny thing, though. Like, if you take away everything, if you categorize everything that's new and different as a gimmick, then almost everything Nintendo has added would be everything that makes modern gaming would go away. You'd have no vibration because Nintendo started that with the Rumble pad with the Rumble pack for the N64. You'd have no D-pad, so no D-pad. Remember you'd have no analog control sticks because Nintendo added that shit. You'd have let's see. You'd have no proper 3D gaming because Nintendo is the first one that had a proper 3D game. Basically, I mean, and here's the thing: if everything they do is a gimmick, then why is it that Sony and Microsoft are always trying to fucking copy them? If it's a gimmick, like last gen, they came out with motion control. They're like, oh shit, we need motion control too. I mean, if it's a gimmick, I mean. Nintendo's like, okay, you'll be able to do like off-screen gameplay with the controller. Shit, Sony's like, man, we need to do that with the Vita. But it wasn't built to do that, sir. I don't care. You need to make that shit happen.
I want to say this.
In the scenario, like really dull, like. As though as the annual trailers we are talking before, like we can expect what we're going to get next year. Next year we're going to get a Mario with a classic controller. We're going to get a Dark mature Zelda next year.
Yep. No, this year, yeah.
Sounds too boring to me. But apparently people really want that to happen.
Yeah, well, actually, no, I take that back. You have a vocal minority of people that think Nintendo should go third party because they don't want to spend, $299 on a Nintendo console. Apparently,
I don't want to spend the $400 for another console. But hey, if I like those games, I'll do it.
Well, I mean, the thing that gets me is that they're like, okay, I don't want to spend $300 on a Nintendo console plus whatever I spend on the games, but you're spending $460 on these current consoles, and you're getting broken games. You're getting games that have to be patched to be playable later on. You're getting subscription fees. You're getting online heavy systems that if the online goes down, you're screwed. I mean, I don't really consider that to be a worthwhile expense for me. Because when I play a game, I want to put the game in and play it. Now, this could be because I'm old school and I grew up with cartridges. We just plug that some bitch in. Or if it wasn't working, you took it out and blew into it and then put it back in there. Yeah. and you flipped the switch and it was on.
My sentiment exactly.
Maybe I'm old school like that, but I don't find that to be cool for people to make games like that. But even with that said, it's time for us to move on to questions. And we have a few of here.
Before we go there, there's been mention about this new Terminator film that's being made.
Yeah.
First time I saw the trailer, here's my thoughts. First time I saw that trailer, I was rather disappointed.
Yeah.
Because now it's like they're trying to change everything.
Continuity. Yeah.
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 And this is me as a Terminator fan.
Yeah, it was like, literally. I'm telling you something. That teat is so dry, it's giving out powdered milk. Because they have milked this franchise to dust.
You know, actually, I didn't even bother about that milking part because there's good ways of doing it and there's bad ways of doing it.
Terminator has been milked. It has been.
they could have made, well, to me, they could have made at least one more movie that actually shows the very futuristic scene that was first
Personally,
depicted in the
personally,
first Terminator movie
yeah.
with the
Instead of
plasma rifles.
well, the thing is that they don't want to like okay, because that would make sense. The final Terminator film should be humans beating the Terminators, because you have all these films leading up. Well, John Connor is going to lead us. Let's have that movie. Let's have the movie where John Connor defeats
Yes.
Skynet. That's the Terminator movie we deserve to have. Instead, you're going to keep on doing this shit, and that's the problem. But I digress.
Only the
I,
first movie and the second movie are the only that are canon. If I try to follow up the story with the sequels and the spin-offs,
Yeah,
I just don't care. I think the story properly ended in the sequel.
yeah. T2 was the end of Terminator.
What?
actually,
Terminator 2 was the end of Terminator. Because, like, the thing is like, after Terminator 2, if you watch the director's cut of Terminator 2, you see the ending that, like, James Cameron originally wanted, which is they win. Judgment Day never occurs.
Yeah,
I would disagree. Disagree to that because to me, if you're going to change the future, it's already written.
No,
Well,
my
that's
point
just me.
is that, like, because what happens is that, like, they destroy the evidence that the stuff that they use in order to create Skynet. Because they destroy the circumstance that causes Skynet to be created, they stop the whole Skynet destroying its only enemy, which is humanity, and starting World War III and bombing everything to death. That's the whole, like, if you watch the director's cut, that's the ending. Now, they didn't like it because it was too happy, because at the end there's no Judgment Day, there's no Judgment Day, there's no nuclear war, and it was too sappy. But, I mean, Terminator 2 is the logical ending for Terminator. Unless you want to make a Terminator versus RoboCop, and that's how you have Skynet happen. That would be a cool movie. But we'll never get that because if we're going to get that shitty RoboCop 2014, then I don't want it. But let's get to the questions. This question is from Anderson Archilla. Has anyone seen a show called Thunderbirds? I ask only because supposedly the new Star Fox will take more cues from it than Star Wars this time around. Is this a good move? Well, the first Star Fox took its cues from from Thunderbirds, so I mean, you know, I like the first Star Fox more than like 64. So
I would say that wouldn't be a bad move.
and yes, I'm familiar with Thunderbirds. It's got the puppets and the rockets and stuff. And Team America World Police did a homage to did an homage to that. It was really, oh god, that is a horrible movie to watch. But it is inevitable. It is inevitable. If you get that reference, you saw the movie.
I completely got that reference.
Yeah, it is inevitable. But yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, it's Miyamoto. Look, it's Miyamoto. Miyamoto has had very few bombs. Okay, except for Wii Music. Okay, Wii Music was the only real bomb. Like, very few things that he's done have really bombed spectacularly. So that he's released. So I can't get mad. Who else wants to answer this question?
Well, I already said that it's not a bad move, and practically I'd go for that one too.
Okay, Mario?
And yes, I also know about Thunderbirds, well, very vaguely, but I still know about them.
I used to watch it when I was a kid. Mario?
yeah, I'm not. I think I'm not going to get a lot of hate, but I never played any Star Fox game, and I'm thinking, I'm planning to play the 3DS re-release and
Yeah.
the SNES version along with the Metroid from the Super NES, but I don't know why people think that if I'm a Nintendo fan, I have to play every single item Nintendo has.
No, dude, I was just asking. I was just asking. You don't have to play. Me personally, I don't really like the Star Fox games after the 64 one. My favorite Star Fox is the first one. I don't like Command or Assault, but you know, whatever floats your boat.
Mentality of Razor Fist.
As long as they stay with what people liked about Star Fox, I'm okay with it. The only thing I know about Star Fox is that for some reason people really hate the Toad guy, the Sleepy Toad. Um, but that's all I know. But yeah, I'm planning to play that game. It's on my schedule.
All right, all right. Okay, here's our next question from Anderson Archilla. From both the animated and live-action Mario movies to the Donkey Kong Country CGI cartoons to the successful Kirby and Pokemon anime to the failure of F-Zero
Oh!
Zeros to the recent Kid Icarus and Pikmin shorts, who actually feels good about this Netflix Zelda adaptation? Who wants to hit this first?
That I I have to disagree with the failure of F Zeros because for some reason for me, actually, Kids WB botched that because I was really into it, but then when I started to find out that um, the numberings of the
They changed the episode order, and the Japanese
yeah
version of that anime is so much better.
so much better
It's
and
so much better.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the Donkey Kong Country cartoon. Looks horrible.
Yeah, the animation is terrible.
yes
You
that
know, my
that is
favorite, my favorite thing was I like the animated Mario cartoons, and I like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Now look, listen. They made a theme song of the Super Mario theme song. That is cool. They actually added words to it, and you got a dance out of it, and it had a dude who looked like Mario and a dude who looked like Luigi, and it worked out very well. I liked it. I'm sorry. I liked Super Mario, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I even liked the two cartoons that came afterwards, the one that was based on Super Mario Brothers 3 and the one that was based off Super Mario World. I liked all three of them.
and that actually
Did
those two I was
uh,
unfortunate enough to see them.
did you guys watch a reboot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
it
Reboot
was
too. I
good.
still,
It reminds me to that late 90s kind of animation looks really uncomfortable.
yeah, but Reboot still holds up, kind
Yeah,
of. So does
Kind of.
Transformers. So does Transformers, the one with the animals. But the Donkey Kong Country animation is so bad. It's
No.
like, oh god, this is terrible. Not to
I mean,
mention
even
the entire
even
series just did not.
the character design. Why why change the character design of Funky Kong? He was good the way he was. Apparently,
Because
maybe
he
it was
looked like he smoked a lot of weed. I mean, Funky Kong still looks like he smokes a lot of weed. That's how he got his name.
Cowabunga, dude.
People thought it was the music, but no. It's because every time you go to Shack, why does it smell like that in here? Never you mind, man. You want to ride in my jet, man. The jet, man.
comment. I like this comment on the video of the Donkey Kong Country cartoon that says Sonic Boom ain't looking so bad anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, the animation is terrible. The animation
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
oh my god.
Speaking
Um,
about the Zelda series, I think people are just too impulsive and just rush to make opinions about this because from what I know, the only source is a article from
yeah,
on
yeah.
the Wall Street Journal with
Yeah.
no source. Basically, he says, "Guess what, guys?
Well,
Some guy from Netflix is
wait a
saying
second.
this."
The
What?
No, I was just gonna say, wait a second. The only reason I'm giving, I understand where you're coming from. You're a bit skeptical, but the reason I don't think this is fake is because it is the Wall Street Journal. Like, if it was just some random person, like, we got a source over here. My uncle who works at Nintendo, who lives in Japan, told me this. Like, I would be with you, but considering it's the Wall Street Journal, I could see, and here's the thing, Nintendo needs to increase the visibility of their IPs, and this would be the perfect way to do it. The thing is that they have to make sure that this series doesn't suck.
Yeah. Well,
And
if that's true, one thing I could say is that Netflix is actually putting effort
yeah,
on their TV series.
yeah,
I guess it's due to they don't have the pressure to the TV productions have.
exactly.
Uh,
Now,
and so maybe if that's true, it's actually true, maybe it could be something good or more than something bad, but
Yeah,
there is just only a speculation. We just don't know nothing.
yeah. That's why I'm not too worried about it because, I mean, if it's true, I'm not too worried about it because Netflix has been putting effort into their original programming. It hasn't just been them just throwing some shit out there. So,
I will
I
say
mean,
this.
I hope they
Uh,
don't mess it up if it's true.
yeah, that I will say this. If I do, I do think that this is kind of a rumor right now because I've 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 trust news in this in this gaming business that some of them didn't even pan out. But if this is true, then I would like to see Nintendo watch these people like a hawk to not butcher their IPs.
Yeah, that's why I'm like I want like if it's true, I want them to like send someone over there, like maybe Eiji Anuma, like maybe he's wrapping up. Maybe they send Eiji Anuma, not Eiji Anuma because he's working on that. They send someone who knows Zelda over there to make sure no one's messing it up. Hey, this isn't Zelda, because we all remember that Mario movie.
Yeah, I think they won't allow the total control like they allowed for the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's remember what happened with just a little cameo for Bowser
yeah,
in one.
yeah.
I
So
want to say,
Now,
I want to say to credit the Super Mario movie, at least they did a whole fucking better than what the producers that did with King of Fighters. That is, God.
yeah, yeah. King of Fighters was bad. Like, okay, here's the thing about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay, Super Mario Brothers the movie. The movie itself, if you're watching it as a fan of Super Mario Brothers, is god awful. If you just watch it as a movie by itself, it's like it's so bad it's good. If you watch it without knowing that it's related to Super Mario Brothers,
yeah,
it's
It's a
actually
B
kind of
plus for
fun.
me.
It's actually kind of
It's,
fun. If you watch it as a Super Mario Brothers fan, it's shitty. But if you watch it by itself as a movie, it's like, yeah, I can actually get into this. It's actually pretty good.
did you guys watch that trailer? And I mean that beach trailer for a Zelda movie that the guys from the TMNT movie made?
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't like that. I didn't like it. I don't.
it,
The thing is that most people can't get Link right
yeah, it was a
or
link
Ganondorf.
characters, but it wasn't Zelda at all.
Yeah, or like here's the thing.
what,
If
wait a
you're
minute.
gonna make a Legend of Zelda TV show, in order to prevent controversy but still garner interest, my advice to those making this is to make it from the point of view of side characters. Don't make it centered around Link, Ganon, or Zelda. Have them be in it. Have them be like characters that the side characters observe. Like they're the main characters. They observe this stuff happening, but it's
From,
not. You're not following.
from Error and Tingle's point of view from season 1 to 4.
And no Tangle. No Tingle. If you do have Tingle, have Ganondorf go up to him and Spartan kick him in the face.
It's
That would
kind of
be
it's kind of like basically what they did with F-Zero GP Legend. That's the Legend of Falcon.
yeah.
It was
Like
also
Captain
centered on
Falcon is a
side
side
characters.
character in that series. It's actually some other asshole who's the main character. But Captain Falcon, except if you read the anime, Captain Falcon, like the main bad guy, he Falcon punches that guy so hard it causes a supernova explosion. Like Captain Falcon, I mean, dude, that guy is so badass. But I digress.
Yeah.
Our next question is from Anderson Archilla once again. Regarding Splatoon, anyone think voice chat with random people would really do much for team coordination? Even with friends, I don't see much precision in a game as hectic as this. Still, I say give people voice chat to stop the crying. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm just tired of hearing people bitch about it. I don't care. I personally prefer local multiplayer, and even the games that I play that do have voice chat, I don't use it because I don't really give a shit what people have to say while I'm playing a game. If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, which is splatter ink everywhere in Splatoon and get enough territory that we win, then, I mean, if you can't figure that out, then I don't know what to say to you. I mean...
They already know if they are going to be strategic, they already know how it's the form of the map. They
Yeah,
already know the map. They already have a strategy. You
exactly.
can excuse, oh no, our strategy is going to fail because we can have voice chat.
But you know what would be even better than voice chat is if and this is just me spitballing here. Considering you have a map of the entire like you have a map of the entire gameplay map on your gamepad, what if instead of voice chat you could like give directions to the other people on the team? Like if you're the captain, quote unquote, you're elected the captain for that round, you can give like strategy, like kind of like in football with the plays and shit. Like, okay, you're gonna go over here, cover this spot. You ink up over here, like write it down, and that way they can look on their gamepad and see and go, okay, that's the play. That would be better to me, at least to me, than voice chat. Because then, I mean, voice chat, you're gonna be like, okay, go over there. Where? I don't know where over there is. Whereas if you look at the gamepad, okay, here's where I need to go. Here's what I need to do. Like, you've got a sniper rifle. You go over here. You ink this patch on the wall, and you hide out there. You know, we'll kill these dudes. You hide out over here and hang out, and then shoot that dude in the face. That would make a lot more sense than voice chat to me in this game. I'm sorry, but you know, I'm just a gamer. I just have 25 years. I just have a quarter of a century of gaming experience. I don't know anything about these types of things.
I would say I'm actually okay. Since the first time this whole voice chat debacle came up, I am indifferent back then, and I am still indifferent now. Now that does not mean that I'm not going to be a dick and say, no, you can't ask for that. No, if you want it, by all means, I am not stopping you.
Go ahead, ask. I just don't give a shit. I just like the thing is like, I mean, like I said, because here's the thing. Most people might not know this about me, but back in the day when I first got a gaming PC, I was like 12 or 13 years old. I was playing Unreal Tournament Online, Tribes Tournament Online, Counter-Strike Online, like all of these games online with voice chat. And at this point in my life, I'm tired of voice chat. Like, I mean, I have a friend. I don't own a Microsoft console, and neither do I want to own a Microsoft console. But I have friends who let me play their 360s and their original Xboxes with voice chat. I'm tired of little kids yelling at me and screaming into my ear and saying how they had sex with my mother. and And I'm like, first of all, you couldn't handle my mother. First of all. Second of all, even if you got with a woman, you wouldn't know what to do with them. You little punk.
I will say this though, since there's a lot of people that like to compare, I'm going to say this. Twilight Bites made a recent, I think it was very recent, a video about game. It goes something like gamers have some sort of strange priorities, which I kind of see voice chat in this right now in this gen and how it started, how it's starting. I'm kind of seeing voice chat. Uh, I see it as a luxury because when I look at the on the other board, the other console, where there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. So, okay, on the perspective of just Nintendo fans, yeah, I can see why they're clamoring for voice chat. But if you're going to look at the whole pool, as in Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, and third parties, there's a lot of stuff out there that's much bigger and much more important resolved
Voice chat, yeah.
than what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's one of the issues. Like, I hear people, they're like, well, we have a voice. I'm like, if you're going to do, I mean, here's the thing. If you want to do a movement for voice chat, good for you. But shouldn't you be doing a movement on broken-ass games coming out on other consoles first? Or, you know, DLC, like a game comes out and it's $60, and at the same time they have a Steam season pass that's like $30. I mean, that seems to be a bigger issue than Nintendo not having voice chat. Because here's the thing. Broken games and DLC, those actually affect the game and the quality of the game. A game not having voice chat doesn't change a game from not being fun.
Yeah.
Because there are games back in the day that didn't have voice chat, I still have fun with. Even single player, it's fun.
And the whole thing about boycotting Splatoon just because it doesn't have a voice chat, I really thought you guys are effing reaching here there.
Well, I mean, let's be frank. The only people who are doing that are people who weren't going to buy the game anyway. What were you going to say, Mario?
That I don't know how many movements they didn't know from Nintendo. But it seems like the real reason from all those movements is that they want Nintendo to win the popularity contest. Because as you said, I've seen no movement for why you have to pay for online, why do you have to get broken games at full price, but they are complaining about
Voice chat.
the game are
Voice
yeah,
chat.
isn't as cool as their friends' games. So but I think that's what involves them. It's not the socially acceptable platform for the super popular and grown-up cool kid game online features. I think that's
But
where the problem resides.
But I will say this. You know, look, if people want voice chat, let them have voice chat. I'm not gonna knock it. Funny story. The movement is called We Have a Voice, and it's for voice chat on the Wii U. Funny story. The Wii had voice chat. You needed the Wii speaker in order to use it, and it was really shitty. But it was there. You know, the Wii U.
That's the point. It was not good.
It was not good. The Wii, like, here's the thing. If Nintendo has to make a choice between adding enough infrastructure to add voice chat or skimping on games, me personally, I'd say fuck voice chat. Focus on games. But you know, if you can have both, good. Because I'm tired of hearing people bitch about it. But you know what? I'm gonna support it. We have a voice. Hashtag We Have a Voice. Show a picture of you holding up the little thing. We have a voice. If you want voice chat, that's a good way to do it. Yeah. So anyway, the last question.
Which is another thing that I have to bring up. The whole uh the Club Nintendo thing about the server going down, that it's on maintenance. That I do actually have a problem with, even though I am not in that programming whatsoever. But I will say this: even after 9.2 million Wii U being sold, that's being owned, and you're still having server issues.
Well,
Nintendo.
actually, here's the thing. You're thinking it's just the Wii U people on there. It was actually like it's all the Club Nintendo people. It's people own Wii's. That's like over 100 million. It's people own Wii U's. That's 9.2. It's people own DS's and 3DS's or 3DS's. That's like over 50. That's like 150. That's just the Wii and the 3DS. Then you add in the Wii U, that's 9.2, 160 million people. You're talking about 160 million people. Let's cut that in half. 80 million people trying to get on a little shitty website at one time.
Haven't thought
So
of that.
yeah, that makes sense. If 80 million people tried to get on the Sony website or the Microsoft website, it couldn't handle that. That's just how it is. So on to the next question. Anyone else played the Codename Steam demo? Anyone feel good about this new IP? I'll answer this really quickly. I haven't gotten the demo because I'm waiting to download it on my new 3DS, but I feel good about the IP because I get to play as John Henry. John Henry, the black man, with 2 sledgehammers, 1 in each hand. He beat the machine.
Oh god.
Well,
Black man.
I actually played the demo. I downloaded it. I played it. Um, first, I don't know why Nintendo does. You can play the demo only 30 times.
You only play it how many times?
30 times.
30? Ah, that's pretty decent, actually.
Well,
Normally it's 15 with Nintendo.
I would understand if it was a full game.
Yeah.
You will only get one taste of the experience. So I really don't understand that part. I digress. Um, for people who complain about Nintendo, that Nintendo doesn't make new IP, well, there you go. But sure that doesn't count because there's no. And again, it has that feeling of elite agents on the outside. I don't know why. I liked it. It's like a strategy third-person shooter. Um, the only thing I didn't like, and I think this is a big a big issue. That's what disappointed me. This game. It's on the enemy turn. When it's the turn of the enemy, you have to wait on real time for the enemy to finish their movement. So it could take up to 30 seconds, 40
Yeah.
seconds of just staring at the screen doing nothing because you can't watch what the enemy is doing. I think they do it to make like suspense to don't know what the enemy is doing, but it's just death time. It could be useful if you are versus another player, like that battleship game, where you can see the movements of the other player or something like that. But when you are playing a single player campaign, it's really annoying. And that's something that I really didn't like about the game, to be honest. But aside from that, it's solid. I like it.
Okay. All right. Well, the only thing I'm going to say to you about that is this. I think, because I've played quite a few Nintendo demos, because I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they've been stepping up their demos. Like, they've been putting out more demos for their games. But their demos never have all the full features. So you might be able to skip a lot of that stuff in the full version of the game that you don't have in the demo. Just skip straight to the action, unless you have a unit set to Overwatch, in which, like, once they move to within Overwatch position, position, and your character does their Overwatch ability, it'll skip straight to that point,
Yeah,
and
it's
it'll
like
keep on doing that. So
it's like a Mario Kart 8. If anyone can remember when we bought the game when it was released, it had this problem when you finished a race that says we play the race on the first position, and the second position said continue to the next race, and you constantly replay the finish of the previous race when you actually want to go to the next race. And that function was fixed on
yeah,
Mario Kart, and that gives me hope that they can do something like this on the 3DS.
yeah,
On Korean Steam, because actually it seems that difficult to implement. So if this is fixed, it could be a really decent game, and
yeah. They could,
I'm completely happy with it. But
yeah, they could.
yeah,
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, they could easily patch that in.
yeah, mostly because they already did it with Mario Kart 8.
Yeah,
That really,
so
yeah.
it could happen. So without further ado, it's time for us to get to the conclusion of this. Whew, the conclusion, which is actually going to be pretty awesome. I hope. The conclusion is basically whatever you're working on next, your predictions or hopes for the future, and then our sign-offs. So we'll start with Mario, then go to Triple M, and then myself. So whatever you're working on next, then your predictions, and then your sign-off.
Okay, and what I'm working on is the next update for my game engine. It's an engine based on the SNES game made by Sony. Uh, it's called Sky Blazer. It will feature from the first part of the game, and I will release a new update next week. So I will talk about it next time I can participate on this podcast. What I hope for the future is that Nintendo release confirms this news about the localization of Fatal Frame. I think it will help the Wii U library, um, and that's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hope you're right, because the Wii U needs more games. It
Yeah.
definitely needs more games. So I guess it's on Triple M.
Uh, well, this this project that I wanted to do, the Nintendo Digital Event recap thing, um, is actually going longer than I expected, and well, af- after all of those Xenoblade Chronicles X footage that we've been getting, it's kind of waning on this project that I'm thinking of canceling this, but it's not set in stone yet. So, but if it does get canceled, I got something else in mind with another YouTuber. But yeah, um, My predictions for or hopes for the future. Well, I always hope for the best in the future, but apparently that does not go well with these gaming medias, publishers, or even the entirety of the gaming industry, because things really needs to clean up and fast. Uh, but yeah, as for games, well, like Mario TGP said, hopefully Fatal Frame comes in the US, because like Red Fox said, even though the Wii U does have most games that actually works, it still needs more games. It doesn't hurt to have more games. And well, this is Triple M, the lone wolf and fondness for games that pops out my artworks. And I'm not a gamer. I'm a Goomba stomping lone wolf with a heart of gold.
My goodness. So I guess it's my turn. Basically, I'm working on some content which I don't mind sharing. I'm doing the 1986 Was a Hell of a Year Part 2, where I'll be covering The Golden Child, reviewing The Golden Child, and that's going to be fun. And I'll also be doing another installment of WTF Japan, where I'll be talking about the time I ate mayonnaise ice cream by accident.
I'm definitely wanting to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'll follow that up with WTF Japan episode 4, where I'll tell you about the time I had to see Japanese people just murder songs at a karaoke. American songs at a karaoke. It was oh god, you're gonna laugh your ass off. Let's see, what else?
I can probably visualize that scenario in that Rush Hour movie with Chris Tucker, where he had to go up and go like, "What? They're killing the song! They killed my favorite song!"
It's worse. Oh god.
It's worse.
All I'm gonna say is this: English is a hell of a language. Not English, English. Aside from that, I plan on enjoying my Valentine's Day with my girlfriend, my family, a lot of food, a lot of other fun stuff. My predictions, I predict that Nintendo's gonna drop a lot of bombs over the next few months, make a lot of money. They're gonna go into E3 like they did last year. They're gonna kick everyone's ass, and it's gonna be funny to watch. And my sign off is that this is Mr. Red Fox, and you have to remember something. I coordinated all of this junk in here. If you don't get that reference, go watch Sanford and Son, starring Red Fox. So without that, it's time to end this podcast. I'm glad you guys listened. Don't hesitate next time I have one to use the Q&A app. Ask questions. We'll try to answer them. Thank you and have a good night. And have a happy Valentine's Day.
Got a sonic boom, boom, boom. Got a sonic boom, boom, boom.